Okay, so come and stand in the middle of the mat. Feet hip width apart, check feet are parallel, facing forwards. And think about the pelvis, tuck the pelvis under. So if your hip bones were like headlights, you're just lifting your headlights ever so slightly so they're facing forwards, if anything slightly upwards. So that's tucking the pelvis under. Then relax your shoulders, get some length at the back of the neck. See, so you've got your earlobes just resting over your shoulders, crown of head shining to ceiling. And then just think about breathing here. So breathing in and just expand the rib cage. So just check that you're breathing properly. And I might do a couple of pauses in the video, in the class tonight, just to see if you're breathing properly, expanding this rib cage, and then exhaling and relaxing. So breathing in, expand through the rib cage, and exhaling to relax. Gonna find pelvic floor, small muscle you pull in when you need a wee. So pull that in 100%, bit of a squeeze. Then find TVA, we tend to hollow that one down to the hips. And we also draw it in, like if we were putting on a tight pair of jeans or a corset, and we're sort of like squeezing around the center. So pull the pelvic floor in and pull TVA in. Pull it in as much as you can, 100%, and then do a slow release on both of them. And we're going to do that 10 times. Now, if you want, just focus on that because that's quite a lot. If you want more and you've done this quite a long time with me, you might want to put in your mudras. So with that, you might want to go thumb, index finger, middle, and then we go like that. So I'll leave it up to you whether you want to put the mudras in as well. So pelvic floor TVA, we're going to go in and slow release out and in and out and in and out and in and out, in, out, and in. Now just check you're not holding your breath. And out, and in, and out. 2 more, and in, and out. And last one, and in, and out. Now find it 50%, so just halfway. So it's not taking all your concentration, it's not such a squeeze that you're holding your breath. And we're going to jazz walk. So just roll up over the ball of the foot, go towards the big toe. So this is just warming up the feet, particularly if it's been really cold and you've been out in the snow. I think my feet have been really wet on every single run I've done, just because I've been running in the snow. So just walking through the range, bending through the knees, keep the pelvis tucked under and keep that 50% pull on the core muscles. Now we're going to bring in some shoulders. So lift the shoulders up to the ears and then circle them round. Lift, bit of a squeeze and circle. Lift and squeeze and circle. So I don't know if anyone else has found, even if you're running in the rain, but if you run out in the ice and snow, like your back gets quite tight and your shoulders get really tight because you're kind of worried about falling over. So your whole body kind of gets into this kind of like tight position. And maybe even if you're running in the mud and rain and things as well. So just releasing now with the shoulders. Check that you're breathing fully. Expand the rib cage as you inhale. So we're going to go arms up, breathing in, arms down, breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Keep the pelvis tucked under. Try and keep that 50% pulling on the core. You don't have to time this with me, just go with your own breath. Putting in some balance, going up onto the toes. And you can really start reaching, getting really tall. Crown of head shining to ceiling, getting that length through the body, lengthening through the spine. Should I have got my light on? Put that on, if that helps. 2 more. Going up onto the toes, reaching fingertips towards the ceiling. So then just holding opposite elbows and then just resting forearms kind of on the top of your head. So you're sort of framing your head with your arms. And just, you might find what happens when you've done that is you're arching the lower back to get in that position. So take a minute just to tuck the pelvis under again and try not to flare the rib cage. So try not to lift the rib cage as you do that. Take a couple of deep breaths, and then breathing out, we're going to side bend. Breathing in center, breathing out, side bend. Press down into the mat with the feet. Check you've got that pelvis tucked under, you're still pulling in on the core. So we're going to take this into a sundial, so it goes forward, goes over to the side, then you bend the knees a little bit, and then you take it forwards to a forward fold. And then you go all the way around the front, and then you peel out the other side. And then we go the other way around, so you've got your side bend, then bending in the knees, then bringing that forward, chin goes to chest, your forehead's going down towards your knees, and then unpick it the other side. Keep it going, your pace. Try and breathe out as you go into your forward fold. Breathing in as you come up to center. Really pressing down with the feet into the mat. Then you might start feeling like you just want to let go of these arms. So you could, if you feel like that, just let the body go with it. So you can extend through the arms, taking it up and over in a really long sundial. Pressing down into the feet, 2 more, whichever version that you're going with. Last time, breathing out. And release. Now take one arm out to the side, and then the opposite leg out to the side. And then you're going to see if you can circle. So it's a bit like that, rubbing your head in your tummy. Circle your leg and circle your arm. Bit of crossbody, bit of balance. Now engage the core, so just check you've got your 50% pull in. And think about the fingertips really reaching out as you do your arm circle. Other way around. And then just switch that over. So again, opposite arm, opposite leg, just reaching out to the sides. Stay strong in the center. Anchor through the pelvic floor. Think about reaching right through to the fingertips, the toes, other way around. Then like a zombie arms, but slightly to the side, so you're like a real zombie there. So we're going to go across the body with a little kick. So you might want to step into it, see how you get on with it. Bend the knees. So it just goes a little cross body kick like that. And you can have a little shuffle in the middle. You don't have to go straight into them. And when you get into it a bit more, you can go a bit further and try and touch your hands. So if you want to do a little shuffle in the middle and just to prepare yourself, just a little crossbody kick. It doesn't have to be that high either. It could just be effort towards. Just 2 more. That's just a bit of dynamic hamstring stretching. So option, we'll put weights in a minute. High knee, so just lift one knee up, take a balance, and then switch it over. High knee, and then switch it over. So just 3. So it's nice and simple, really. We're just doing a high knee. As you do it, think about pressing the foot down into the mat and squeezing the glute. So just take a little bit of kind of work at really pressing into the mat and glute squeezing. So we're activating a little bit there. So then move through 1, 2, 3, and then hold. And then go again 1, 2, and 3, and then hold. So it's just rebalancing on the hold. 2 and 3, hold. Use the core when you put in your hold. So find the pelvic floor, find the TVA, hold. Now if you want to make that harder, you just put it in a bit more like a hop. 2, 3. Ah! It all goes wrong. 1, 2, 3. Ah. There's me using the wall. You can always use your props if you need to. 2 more, whether you put in a little bit more pace on the hops or not. Interesting, isn't it? Refining the balance. Okay, weights if you've got them and you want to put them in. Take your shoulders down and back. So if you need to just do a little shoulder circle, elbows tucked in. Then take a balance beam. So 1 foot in front of the other. So again, we're just working a little bit of balance. If you want more of a challenge, eagle legs. So you cross over the legs and you really take things down onto the midline by tucking the toe around the back of the leg. So there's that option there as well if you want it. Elbows tucked in, scapula set. So just taking the thumbs backwards, the weights backwards, but working again on the balance, or if you're on eagle legs. So should really kind of get that stretch across the chest. Breathe out as you take the weights back. Two more. Then we'll swap the legs over. So again, balance beam. Or whether you like the eagle. We're going to put eagles in a bit later, so you might want to play with eagle if you want to. Now instead of the scapula set, it's alternate shoulder press in that balanced position. So find pelvic floor. Try and keep eye gaze forwards, try not to look down. Two more. So using that shoulder press, we're going to put it into the deadlift. So if I just put the camera down so you can see what I'm doing, my legs a bit more. So you're going to go shoulder press, lift up, and then take the weight down towards the floor for a single leg deadlift. Now you could alternate, so you could go to the other side and then do your other leg. Or you could do 8 on one side, 8 on the other. So it just depends on how you feel. It's harder to alternate, I would say, because you've got to rebalance. Soften the standing leg. So you soften the knee on the standing leg. So you're not hyperextending that hamstring at the back. And you might not get all the way down to the floor. You might just take the weight to the knee. That's fine as well. You're still going to work that hamstring. Work the deadlift. Using the big toe as a bit of an anchor in your balance. Again, using the core muscles, glutes as well. Notice what's happening with the knee, so try not to let the knee pronate across your midline. Also thinking about that whole balance beaming thing we've been doing, try not to balance beam this move. So keep everything hip width, shoulder width, so we're not taking the weight to the centre. Try not to let the arch drop underneath the foot. I've lost count. Has anyone done 8 yet? I think we're about there, aren't we? Squats in next, so hips going back into space and then putting in your front raise, so just taking the weights forwards, but try not to let the shoulders come up to the ears on a front raise. Thinking about the knees, hip width. They're not pronating in. We're squeezing glutes on the left. Breathing in as you come down in your squat, breathing out as you come up onto the extension. Finding a little bit of length there in the lower back. So adding in if you want, circle the arms all the way around over the head as you stand up. Four more. Just be aware as you take the weights over the head, you're not arching in the lower back. So you're pulling in the core, especially if you've got heavy weights. Depends what you've got. What have I got? I've got 2 kilograms. Okay. Wide squats. Feel a little bit tight, a little bit of a side to side sumo. Holding the weights, big circles, draw it all the way around, over the head, come back down to center. 4 one way, and then we're going to 4 the other way. Try and keep the head still. Stay strong in the core. Relax the feet. And then other way around. If 2 weights is too much, you can always take it on with one weight, or you can do this without weights too. So we're going to put the weights to the side for a sec. Then we're going to go for a standing saw. So the saw exercise in Pilates is normally a seated one, but I'm going to try it standing. So arms out to the sides. Breathing in to prepare, breathing out, twist. Breathe in to prepare, and then breathing out, opposite hand reaches down to opposite foot and pulses 3 times. And then then you uncurl. So you're just getting the breath and you're taking your time. You don't need to have super straight legs on this, especially to begin with. You might want to soften through the knees a little bit as you're getting into your hamstring stretch. Especially if your room's cold. Try not to force any stretches. So just getting that moment, breathing in after the twist before you go down. It's called the saw because it's a bit like a hand saw. Your hand as it pulses down towards your foot. That's the idea. Go 2 more. I'm just going to get my jumper off because it's getting warm now, which is good. Stay with your wide legs. This is a new move that I've put together. And we're going to do a lunge. So what you're going to do is twist the feet round to the long edge of the mat. Reach the arms up and see if you can bring the knee down towards the floor on a lunge. Then bring it back up, centre it, then take it all the way around. So it's a little bit of footwork really. And then come down into the lunge. So you come to the centre and then come down. Doesn't need to be clean, it can be a little bit messy under the feet. You can bring the arms down into centre if that helps as you do the transition round. Going to stretch a low lunge a bit later, so don't panic about holding the stretch, just kind of get the working through. Last one. Okay, come into centre, hands at heart centre. No, you can't see my head. Just wanted you to be able to see my feet. We're going to close our eyes. Just take a balance. If you like tree, you could put in your tree pose. So if you can close your eyes, just count to 5. Tuck pelvis under, pulling core. Then opening the eyes, heel lifts, but if you want to add in, go for eagle arms. So you cross over elbows, then lift up the arms and interlink the fingers. And then you could go for holding in that for the shoulder stretch as you heel left. And it's quite tricky because you've brought the arms into midline. Lots of balance work this month. 8 heel lifts, so just going up on towards the toes through the ball of the foot. Squeezing in the glutes. Then release. Then we'll go to the other side. Do your 5 seconds to start with. Just getting your balance. See if you can close your eyes. Try not to hold the breath. Then eagle arms. Think about perhaps going the other way with the arms, the other arm underneath. And then your heel lifts. Rolling towards the ball of the foot. Find pelvic floor, squeeze in the glutes. Lifting elbows up level with your shoulders to get that shoulder stretch. Eight of these heel lifts. Whew. Bit of a shake, a bit of an easy twist. Let the arms just kind of swing around the body. Perhaps a hip circle. Again, just a bit of release. We're going to go down into the mat now. So we'll meet in a downward dog or puppy dogs if downward dog doesn't suit you. And just go back to that jazz walk that we did a bit earlier. Just to stretch out the calf muscles. Send the hips up towards the ceiling. So you're just going up onto the toes and then pressing down through the heels. Feet are hip width. So if you're kind of in this position, this is often where I start a downward dog, and we want really to get into that position. So we're getting that length on the spine. You can bend in the knees a little bit. There's no panic about having straight legs. But yeah, also plank positions and then just hinge from the hips. I just saw Chris do that. It's a really good way of doing it. So think about sending the chest towards the thighs to get that stretch on the backs of the shoulders. Couple more deep breaths here in downward dog. Hopefully you're feeling a bit of a release on the hamstrings, calf muscles. Perhaps you're feeling a bit more energy as all the blood's rushing to your brain. Bring it down onto all fours, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Slightly different move to what I've done before. Have your weights ready if you want to put them in, because we're going to go lift to the side, so you need a bit of space as well, unlike me with the wall. I haven't thought about that, have I? So, you know the dog peeing on a lamppost move that I often do? I want you just to try it slightly different. I want you just to lift your knee up to the side with a bent leg. So no extension, and then bring it back to centre. Then just try it on the other side. So just try it, because I haven't really done this one with you. So lift the knee to the side. The angle behind the knee doesn't change. So you're just lifting, bringing it down. That's the move. That's what we're going to do with our legs. And the opposite side with the arms. So if you have your weights ready, is you're going to do an arm lift to the side, a lateral lift. So you've got your leg lifting out to the side and your opposite arm lifting to the side. So it's cross body. Check you're finding pelvic floor. Check you've got TVA pulling in. You're not arching in the lower back. You've got that neutral spine. And again, it's kind of working with balance because we're kind of just testing where that center point is. So keep an eye on where you're finding your balance in your core. Check that you're not bringing your knee onto a midline. Midline, like the line through the center of your body. Keep it hip width. Just 2 more. So now we are going to work with extension with the glutes. So keep the weights as they are for now. We're going to slide one leg away and just point the toes if you can, just work through a nice straight leg. Then center, then switch that over. Squeezing in the glutes, check you're not arching in the lower back. So this is glute activation and strengthening the lower back. Breathe out into the extension. Now we're going to add in the arms. Opposite arm does a little tricep position backwards. So like you've got a cape and it's floating, you're flying and the cape's going behind you. Keep an eye on the core now, so find the pelvic floor, find TVA pulling in. Shoulders coming down away from ears, particularly as you reach that arm back. So you're getting that work there in the tricep, the backs of the arms, whilst you're strengthening through the glutes. 2 more. Weights to the sides then. And then just step forwards, we're going to find a lizard position. Whichever foot, you prefer to go forwards. And then just take all the toes off the mat, but keep the heel on the mat. So you're really opening there into the hips. Then a little, I always quite like to sway side to side with the hips just to get into that stretch. So see how that feels if you feel like you want to move a little bit with it. Some people are super flexible in hips, go down onto elbows here. So if you want more, there's an option to go lower. Otherwise, just enjoy the stretch there for the hips. You can also just lift up the big toe, so you're really rotating that foot, so you can actually see the sole of your foot or the bottom of your socks. And the front foot as well. So then we'll just swap legs with that one. So step the other leg forwards, toes off the mat, heel on the mat. Again, perhaps a little bit of movement, work side to side with the hips. Check you're not holding your breath. Kind of works there into the length on the stride, doesn't it, Lobby? You should feel like you're in a giant leap position if you were leaping. Then if you want, look at the sole of your foot, so going onto the little toe, rotating to the outside of the foot. Okay, from there we're going to come down onto our front Sphinx position. Elbows underneath your shoulders. Just take a moment to lift the heart. Take the shoulders down. Lift the crown of the head. Think about some length through the spine. If you lift up the kneecaps, so you're activating kind of the quads, and then just bring the kneecaps down but slide the toes away from the body. So we're really thinking about getting really long all the way through the body. That's Sphinx. And just pause and think about breathing in. Inhale, expand the rib cage. Check that you're breathing properly. Then if you want more, cobras. So just straightening the arms, putting in that lift. Send the hips down and lower. Breathing in as you lift. Breathing out as you lower. So either in Sphinx, we go 2 more breaths, or lifting into cobra. Thinking about that lift and that length on the heart. Then as you come down, slide the arms away from you. Like my cactus there, so he lies on his bed with his arms stretched out in front of him. I think because there's hot pipes underneath his bed. So we're going to go glute activations, and we're going to see if we can lift the opposite arm off the floor. So squeezing in the glute, hamstring activates, lower back stabilizes, and then lift the opposite arm and reach it forwards, bring it down. And then to the other side, cross body. Engaging with the core, so see if you can find the pelvic floor, TBA. Option, you can look forwards into that lift, or you can just keep the eye gaze down. Sometimes looking forwards helps to get that lift on the shoulder. 3 more. Really reaching right through the toes, right through the fingers. Thinking about being really long in the body. Then we're going to go quad stretch. So taking hold of the ankle. So if you've been really busy today and maybe you've done loads of running and some, loads of like exercise, you might want to just do a passive stretch and hold and let go. If you want the active stretch, a bit more of a lift, almost like you're up in Sphinx. Press your fingertips into your foot and your foot into your fingertips. So you're activating the quad a little bit more. So just work with your day, work with what you want to do, what you need to do in your body now. 3 deep breaths. Try and let go of the quad, the resistance that you find. Any tightness. Then we'll switch legs. So your choice again, whether you're holding or whether you're pressing, activating. Sending the hips down into the mat. Just finding any resistance, notice it, acknowledge it. And then just as you exhale, you can just let it go. So tilted bow, for those that want it, is coming up. Or you can go straight into that now if you know it. Otherwise, double leg kick. So both feet lift up towards your bum. Lower with control. And that's your standard move you could work with. If you want more, bend knees, put in the twist. So drop the feet to the side. Then you double leg kick down. And then left. And then take it over. Tilted bow, holding on to both ankles, shoulders back, lift up the chest, lift up the knees, breathing in, breathing out. So if you can just take that right over to one side, and then again to your left, and then so if you can take it over. Such a complete move, isn't it? Still one of my favourites. In my top 3, this one. From those, then we're going to go to swan dive. So cactus the arms, like you are elbows level with your shoulders. Breathing out, lift, and then breathing in lower. Adding in, if you want, lift, extension, reach the arms forwards, back to the cactus, and lower. 3 more of these. So if it's too much, you can just lift and lower without lifting the arms. There's another option there. Think about the top of the spine in this move. So try and keep the eye gaze down, chin tucked under. So the crown of head is shining forwards, not upwards. Then we're going to release with cat stretch, so on all fours, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Then just tuck pelvis under chin to chest, get some space between the shoulder blades. Then if your body feels like it wants to move, you could put in little spirals here, circles with the hips, just kind of go with what you feel. If you're working with stillness, just breathe into the center of the shoulder blades, expanding. And then as you breathe out, see if you can keep that space between the shoulder blades so you don't crumble as you exhale. Wrist stretch then, so one at a time, just placing fingertips towards the knees. Perhaps spreading fingers. And then just swapping that over. Equal weight down through both hands. So a little bit of a stretch for the front of the body, but it's not for everybody because not everyone likes putting their knees into that position. So it's going to be going back to here or lower if you prefer, so you can take it down even further if you want to. Another option I'm going to put in is a toe stretch, so you're a little bit higher up in kneeling position and you tuck your toes under and you get the stretch underneath the arch of the feet. So just work with what you want. If you want a front of body stretch, go lower. If you want a toe stretch, you could be in a little bit more of a kneeling position. Just a couple of deep breaths, wherever you're at with that. Then we're going to go to a front plank, side plank, back plank, front plank. So we're going to go for all four. Option 1 is knees down and on your elbows, and then take it round like that, and I'll give you the options as we go. Option 2 is straight legs on down on elbows. We'll do about 30 seconds on each. Option 3, I'm going to put this one in, is a high plank, which is going to work a lot more on balance. So 3 options there. 30 seconds. Front, side, back, front. Ready. Okay. Find the pelvic floor, find TBA pulling in. I'm just going to count. Is that because I haven't got a stopwatch? So ready to go then. In your plank position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Are we breathing here? 19, 20, 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Move to your side plank. Option 1, knee down. Option 2, legs straight. Option 3, you could go a little bit higher. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And breathe. 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Back plank. Option 1, like a little reverse table position. Option 2, I always think actually option 2 would be about here. Option 3, elbows. Ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hips up. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Let's breathe. 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Release. Last side then. Choose your option wisely. Side planks. Lift up those hips. Ready. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Let's breathe. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and release it down. Nice. Okay, let's release child's pose. Sit back onto your heels. If that's not comfortable for your knees, perhaps go with puppy dogs, which is like this, with your hips over your knees. Otherwise, child's pose may be a little sway side to side. Just getting comfortable, bring your forehead down. If you don't get your forehead on the mat, you can always use something like a block or a cushion to rest it on. Just choose your child's pose. I won't give you any direction with arms. Just find your comfortable position. Go for 5 deep breaths. Send the breath there to the lower back. Perhaps just think of one thing that you're truly grateful for. Okay, so gonna move on to a bit of side bend. We're looking at the time. Just sitting up, resting, kind of resting with your shoulders just release. You can let your shoulders go to your ears a little bit here. So it's just kind of a bit of a release. You can even, I'm just doing this. I'm just sort of taking one shoulder forwards, one shoulder back. So there's any tightness in there, just a little bit of release. We're going to put in work with the hips, so knees dropping to one side and center. So just allow the shoulders to relax here. If it doesn't feel comfortable going all the way down, you can just go halfway. You don't have to drop the knees all the way down. So almost like a massage into the glutes as well. Twists in if you want, then all the way down. Lift that arm and then thread it through underneath the armpit. And then you just switch that whole thing around. Just gentle kind of squeezing. Two more. Breathing out as you do your thread through. Okay, pick a side then. We're going to come down and do clams. And the one leg circle. So bending the knees, heels in line with hips, in line with shoulders. Then find the core, so find pelvic floor and find TVA. And if you can just rest your head on your hands, there's a bit of a neck stretch in there. So lift and lower, so find glute med, like you're nearly going to fall forwards. Lift and lower that top knee, 5 of these. Check you're not opening here in the hips. That would be a very different move. We're just trying to get towards the back body. Then squeeze and then lengthen, bend. Lengthen and bend, 5 of these. Breathe out into the lengthening. Then hold and then small circles. Engaging with the core. Just the size of a Christmas pudding. 5 one way, 5 then the other. With control, so not too fast. Don't forget to breathe. And then hug knee into chest. getting a little bit of a stretch, and then you can straighten out the other leg if that helps, just to really work into that. And then release. So we'll do those on the other side. So bending the knees, heels in line with hips, in line with shoulders, like you're nearly going to fall forwards. Then find the core, find the pelvic floor. 5 lift and lowers. You should feel the glute med in that one. Breathing out as you lift. Try not to look down at the legs if you can. Try and look forwards. Then squeeze, then it's the lengthen and the bend. With control. 2 more of these. Then hold, then your Christmas puddings. Not too fast with this as well, really slow it down. Other way around. Such a great way just to stretch all the little muscles there in the pelvis and the hips. Then hug that knee into the chest, and you might want to straighten that other leg. Then release. Okay, so coming onto our backs then. Find yourself a neutral spine, so imprinting lower back down, a little bit of core engagement, bend the knees. Arms up to the ceiling. We did this last week, it was this focus on the rib cage, so we're going to start with this. So same side, so if we go with the right arm over the head, right leg extends, and then come back to center, then switch it over to the other side, to left. Arm, left leg extends. Now keep the focus on imprinting the rib cage down as you exhale, because it sometimes wants to flare, it wants to lift. So think about keeping the length there in the spine, not letting the rib cage lift. Imprint the lower back down as well as you pull in your core. So it's almost just taking the body and giving that little bit of stretch. Then just see if you can go cross body. So opposite arm, opposite leg. And again, keeping that rib cage down. Breathing out. Last one. Then hug knees into chest and then do your double leg. Legs go up to the ceiling, arms over. And again, focus on the rib cage. As the arms go over the head, try and keep that rib cage down, not lifting. The further you take the legs down to the mat, obviously the harder it is on the core muscles. So your choice there. Working that length through the legs. 2 more. Breathing out. So let's go for our sets then. I just did that the other way around. I know you normally do the sets first, but we're going to go 5 sets of the 100, 20 seconds on each thing. So I just wanted to try it the other way around, just to get you working your imprint. So it's 4 toe taps, so that's a toe tap where you just lift your leg up to tabletop. Then it's 8 pulses, and then it's an 8-second lift and hold. We're going to do it 5 times 3. I'll put in some more layers. Okay, here we go. Toe taps. 4. Hips still, imprinting lower back down. 3 and 2. 1. Lift and pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fingertips to your knees. Lift your ribcage. Hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then release. If you want more, then tabletop this. And 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keep these tummies still. Pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. and hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. And again then 4, 3, 2, and 1. If you want more, then hover the legs, pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Teasers if you want them. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then release. 2 more sets. 4, toe taps. 3, and 2, and 1. Finding the core then. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Last time. 4, and 3, and 2. Imprint that lower back down. 1, and pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Full body stretch. Give everything a bit of a squeeze. Scrunch up your fists, point your toes, scrunch up your face. Big deep breath in. And then breathing out, just let go of the muscles. Take the arms to your sides, so you're like a big T shape. Bend the knees. Breathing out then, both knees drop across to one side. If you want more of a stretch, just hold that stretch. Opposite hand, just pushing down on that knee. Arm reaching out to the far corner. And then just breathe into that spine twist. See if you can totally let go of the shoulders. Then over to the other side. Again, if you prefer the movement and you've been a bit more sedentary today, you might want to keep moving. And in other words, you might want to hold the stretch. Work with what your body needs. Couple more breaths. Going to go back to that eagle and do eagle abs. So just crossing the legs. Then find your eagle arms. Chin goes to chest and just give everything a bit of a squeeze. So you take elbows to knees and then release it down with control. 3 more and then we'll switch sides, or we'll stretch and then we'll switch. Chin to chest, squeeze, and then release. And 1 more. Release the arms, but leave the legs as they are, and just see if you can hold on to shins or ankles. Ideally ankles. I don't think I can get to ankles today. And you want to sort of bring your ankles towards your hips as much as you can. So you're just giving everything a bit of a squeeze and you're getting a glute stretch. Watch that your chin doesn't lift up to the ceiling. So keeping the top of the spine nice and long. I'm really enjoying watching Caroline's dog. Just looks so happy. Just watching her on the screen. Going round and round and round. Caroline stretching. Well, happy dog. Okay, release. Then go to the other side. So uncross the legs, cross them the other way around. Arms the other way. Do 4 of your eagle abs, chin to chest. With control, lift and lower. Knees to elbows. And release. Then releasing the arms again, go for that stretch. What can you get hold of? And pull in towards your hips. Then try and release the shoulders, the head back down to the mat. Take that moment just to think about the rib cage again. Just check that you're expanding as you breathe in. You're breathing in fully. Exhale to relax. Okay, unravel. Hamstring stretch now. So if you like your long bands, you can put your long bands into this. If you like bits of furniture to push into, you could use bits of furniture. Alternatively, you could just do like me. I'm just going to hold on today. 30 seconds, just working with your hamstring stretch. Push away at the back of the knee to engage the hamstring. If you're tight kind of in your feet and you think calf muscles are a little bit tight as well, perhaps a circle with the foot or a bit of a point and flex kind of work there. It's quite nice, working into the flexion of the foot. Try and relax the upper body. Try and keep the back of the head on the mat. Go back to the breath again. Just try not to hold the breath in it at any point. Just long, deep breaths. Expand the rib cage. Then you could take the leg out to the side. It's easier if you've got a band, but you can do it without the band with a bit of support with your hand. Just that inner hamstring stretch. And again, you could do some circles. Then coming back to centre, go to the other side. Just take a minute just to check you're not lifting up your coccyx. So think about the very bottom of your spine, and that does sit and settle down into the mat. You're not lifting that to get into your stretch. Yeah, so that is another option, is to straighten the other leg, because that does ensure that you're not doing that lift. Sometimes when you bend in the knee, it's really tempting to lift up the hips. Push away at the back of the knee, really work with the hamstring. Then you could do your circles with your ankles or your flex and point. I think particularly in the winter, especially if we've got a lot in your snow and running on snow, just see if you can take an extra stretch in the week, perhaps doing hamstrings and glutes, quads, calves. It's also running in the rain a little bit, in the mud and things like that. Just see if you can commit yourself to one more stretch session, just like what we've done tonight. 30 seconds, just going around, engaging the muscle, giving it that little bit of length back. Then over to the side. And again, you could do your circles or your flex and point if you've done that on your feet. And then release. So checking the time, see how 8 o'clock. Got a couple more, just a couple more to do, if that's okay. Put the bands to the side. Walk your heels a bit closer so you can touch your heels. Knees, feet, hip width apart. And just pelvic tilt. Treat it like a massage for the lower back. Think about each vertebrae and the spine, just getting that little bit of attention. And you could take that up, lift up the hips, arms over the head, chin goes to chest, take your shoulder bridge. Breathe in deeply, expand the rib cage, and then breathing out ever so slowly, lower it down. Vertebrae by vertebrae, and just do one more, just like that, really slowly lifting up. Inhale, expand the rib cage. Exhale, lower it down. Hug knees into chest, rock or circle. So if you can rock yourself up to seated position. Gonna do a roll back, but I was gonna put in the seal today. So if you don't like seal, the starting point for seal is butterfly. So soles of the feet together, and you could just work with that stretch. In fact, we will begin with that stretch. Coming to the front of the mat. So a moment in butterfly, especially if you're feeling a little bit tight, before going into seal. Take your hands underneath the legs, hold on to the feet, then lift the feet off the mat. Then it's 1, 2, 3, soles of the feet together, rock it back over the head, 1, 2, 3, and then come back to the hover position. Don't let the feet go down. And then back. Try and keep that control in there. Don't miss out any of the vertebrae. C-shape the lower back on the rock backs. And you can bring it back up to the upright as you come back up. Okay, facing this way then. Grab a cushion or a block if you normally use one, just to get that upright position. Hands just resting on your knees and just taking that circle. We did it in warm up, just hip like the hip circle. Just circle with the shoulders, the head. It's almost like you're taking the rib cage. If you imagine the rib cage doing the circle here. And then back around the other way, just exploring that space. Bring it into center, hands at heart center. Breathing in, get tall, and then breathing up your spine twist. Breathing in to get tall, and then around for your twist. Very different to any other twist we've done, really. Should feel it on those long strands either side of the spine. Think about the crown of head going towards the ceiling, like you've got this golden thread just lifting you up. If I was there in the room, I might come and just put my hand on your lower back just to get you that lift. Two more. Hands at heart center, namaste.